All right, Sean, when you said you were taking me out to the bars today, I had something totally different in mind.
These are the bars. Today's project is restoring a wrought iron fence. Over time, they rust, they get flaky, they look dingy, they just don't pop anymore, okay? But you can't just paint it like you do a wall in your house. There's a few steps that you have to take in order to do it correctly.
So you gave me some pretty unattractive gloves. What are some of the other supplies we need to get started on this?
I've brought a few different tools to prep the fence. I brought about 4 or 5 different options. At home, you may only have to use 1 or 2 of them, but I wanted to show you a few different options to use today.
Looks like we're doing a lot of prepping before we get to the painting. For the prep work, we'll use sanding sponges, a rigid bristle brush, lint-free paper towels, and steel wool. We've got safety gear and a large tarp on hand too.
All of those tools are great, but I brought a power tool with us today as well.
That sounds more like my speed.
And it's a power drill with a wire brush attachment.
Oh, there you go.
Let's start out with the drill. In order to prep this fence for paint, we want to get any of this loose rust off of it. And this wire brush is going to be perfect for that. We're not doing a complete stripping of this fence. This is just prepping it to get ready for primer and paint.
Sean starts us off, and in no time, the rust is flying off the fence. After seeing the pro in action, it's time for me to get to work. Now on to another prep tool.
Let's try out using the rigid wire brush.
Okay.
Now, most of these brushes will have a rigid scraper on the back. And this is going to be great to use on the detail of the fence, just like this.
Yeesh, this project isn't exactly easy on the ears, but at least all of that scraping works. Loose paint is coming off.
So go ahead and flip over to use the bristle side to get these verticals. Try the steel wool, just take a chunk of it right there, and this is going to help get to all the small detail parts that the brush can't reach.
My arm, it's getting a workout. I'm happy when Sean says we only have 1 more sanding tool to prep this fence for paint.
Okay, Ryan, I brought the sanding sponges. We can hit these vertical posts one more time before we get going on the primer.
Once the fence is free of flaking paint and debris, we wipe the area down with lint-free paper towels so we have a smooth metal surface.
If you only have 1 tool available to prep for paint, the steel wool is going to go a lot further. But it was fun using that drill though.
I had a good time.
Now that our fence is looking good, it's time to get out our painting supplies. For this part of the project, we'll need red metal primer, wrought iron paint, a paint tray and roller, and a paintbrush.
We've wiped down all of that debris and we're ready to put our red metal primer on.
Now, why is it red metal primer?
The properties of the primer that's formulated for metal give it that red tone. I'm going to let you use a brush for all the small detailed areas. I'm going to use this roller for the rest of the fence.
Painting a metal fence isn't quite as easy as painting a wall. There are just so many nooks and crannies to cover. Sean suggests taking your time and apply thin coats to avoid drips.
We're gonna let this dry for about an hour before we touch it.
Okay.
At that point, we may have to touch up the primer. And if we do that, we're gonna touch it up, let it dry again, and then go ahead and put the finish coat on.
Okay.
But I wanna take you to a section of the fence that's been prepped, it's been primed, and we've got 1 nice coat of black paint on it, and I wanna show you how to finish it off.
So you're telling everybody you've already done the work for me. Why we love you.
Okay, Ryan, this is a small section of the fence, and we're gonna put the final coat on right now.
Now, you said wrought iron paint. You wouldn't want to use regular paint outside on this?
House paint is for houses, interior paint is for interiors. This type of paint is formulated for metal that's gonna be outside.
All right, let's start painting.
We get the final coat on this section of the fence, let it dry, and then touch up any missed areas. We only tackled a small portion today, so if you're painting your entire fence, this project could take you all weekend. The good news is most fences only need this VIP treatment every 3 to 5 years, and it will only set you back about $75 in supplies.
All right, Sean, thanks a lot. I tell you what, I'm done with these kind of bars. Maybe I can get this guy to go buy me a beverage at my kind of bar.
Let's do it.